Okay, we're going to disassemble this computer. It's the 15U111DX or something like that. I'll put it on the screen there. It's this computer right here. I'm going to be using these tools right here that I got from a kit for $12 on Amazon. Alright, so the first thing the service manual on the website says is to remove these rear feet. This is a plastic pry bar, basically. Should keep me from scratching things up too bad. There's the screw.
There are 14 of these in total.
I need a magnet. There. Oh, okay. All the ones on the outside of the case are the same size.
Later in the video, you see me using a smaller screwdriver, but actually I could have used this one the entire time. So for the whole process, you can get away with one screwdriver size.
There's a thin film of glue covering it. That might make it a little hard for this weak magnet on the screwdriver to get this out. That glue is definitely in the way. There we go. Alright, the next instruction is to flip the computer over and take the keyboard face off. So they said that this just kind of lifts off somewhere. I'm going to use this plastic thing to see if this little seam I see right here is what I need to do. Right about here is a seam. I'm going to try prying up on that. The instructions say to do it near the touchpad, to start there. And they also say to be careful to not pull it all the way up because there are cables attached. And I'm so glad I'm doing this with plastic and not metal right now. This side is not as easy as that other side was. Lifting from the center again. Nothing. Something is holding on over here. Let me make sure I got all the screws out. Let's see. There's the problem. I forgot one of the screws. There we go. Alright, so I warned you not to pull up all the way, but there's actually plenty of room here to safely lift it up enough to see what is going on. Alright. You gotta disconnect the touchpad and the keyboard. Okay, so the instruction manual does not really explain how to disconnect these. You know, I forgot to ground myself. It says to touch like the casing of this fan here. There we go. Ah, okay. This lifts up and down. That's what. Okay. Here we go. Excellent. This white part here also does. Alright, I'm here to replace the battery and the HDD with an SSD. So we're going to be doing both of these at once. Alright, first let's disconnect the battery. This one actually does look like it just slides out. Gonna wiggle it out left and right side. It is moving, so this is not a flip up latch like the other ones were. There we go. I'm going to change course and actually go to the hard drive first, because I don't want to re-disconnect the battery after installing it. So first things first, I believe we take this ribbon cable out, which looks like it's a latch up. So I just flip it up like this, and done. I just need to do these ones right here, I think. Yes. I can see a screw here and a screw there. I see a couple on the hard drive, and I'm hoping I don't have to touch those because I do not have the right size. And those use a hexa, like a special kind of looking one. Let's see if this lifts up now with just 2 screws. Doesn't seem to want to move. Ah, there we go. Just needed a small pry. Now I gotta take this plastic casing off and put it on the new SSD. The instructions say to start by pulling this connector out. Then it says to pry this plastic outer black piece off, like bend it outwards like this at the point where the screws connect. Ah, there we go. I see now. So it starts off like this, and then you just kind of latch it open like this. Do the same to the other side. There we go. All right, goodbye hard drive. Hello SSD. This is the MX500, 1 terabyte. Alright, so I'm going to put this back on here. Crap. Was this facing up or down? This matches like this, and this blue part was up here facing up. So it's actually like this. I'm going to put that together now. I don't remember if this film was at top or below. I believe it was below. It just seems to not want to go back on. Like there's this little gap here, and if I press it, it closes, but it's probably fine. Now to put the interface adapter back on. And to put this back in. It's a snug fit. Let's push this thing this way. And then push this down. There we go. Now it's in. It's nice and firm, just like it's supposed to be. See, this blue ribbon has 2 ears on the left and right of it, and I'm going to first lay the tip of it down, get it started. And then once it's started, gently get the ears into position on the plastic because there's a shape in the molding. And once that's set, I'm going to close this flap. Okay, now for the battery. Here we go. Now the laptop wants to fall over. Battery is apparently very heavy. Here's a look at the battery. And here's a look at the battery that's replacing it. I got this off Amazon from generic seller. I will link that in the description. A couple of the people on the site were warning, a couple of the reviewers were warning that the cord is a bit long here and that it's not, you can't tell which way it's supposed to go in. The original battery had this up so you could see these metal pins on this side here, and on this side you can't see that. So I'm going to orient my cord the same way. The side up, here we go. I believe it's all the way in. Now I just got to put the screws back on. Actually, before I continue that, this wire here is sticking up, and I'm pretty sure the other one wasn't. I gotta find a way to get that in there. Okay, so I think I found a space that works. Let's get this camera over its position here. There's a little bit of a dip here. I stuffed it in there, and then I took the excess and tried to wrap it around this hard drive cage area here. And I think that'll allow me to get the keyboard back on. Alright, now I go back to putting the screws in. I want to note that when bending wires, do not ever, how to describe this? Imagine these two fingers are wired. Don't ever do something like this. It's bad. It could cause fires. This is also too steep of an angle to bend a wire. If you can curve the bend like this, that's better. Okay, the screws for the battery are in. Now let's do the 2 screws for the SSD. If you are screwing into a plastic, I don't know what it's called, holder for a screw, and you don't want to strip or damage the threads on the hole, you start by slowly screwing left until you feel it sink in, or you hear it sink in. Oi! There we go. Now turn to the right. Okay, now I just got to get the keyboard back on. I do not see any ears on this brown ribbon. I think you just have to slide it in and then close it. Got in, but then it popped out. There we go. Okay, we're back here again at night now because this keyboard is supposed to light up. After I did my little upgrade, the keyboard no longer lights up. I suspect that's the wire that powers the lights. I did indeed correctly install the SSD and battery. They work fine. And everything else about the keyboard works fine too, including media keys and the touchpad. Ground myself first. I think that actually this brown part was supposed to be facing up. That might have been what was wrong. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's what was supposed to happen, because there's a white line on that side, just like the black line on the other wire. Alright. I wonder if I could just turn this on like this to test it.
If you do that, are you going to short it out?
Doubt it. Ah, it's working now. That was indeed the problem. I think I'll start with the longer one, the blue white ribbon. Lift this part up. Oh, it just came out. I think it'll be all the way in when this black bar on it is right up against there. Ah, okay. So the black bar, you'll actually still see it quite well when you're putting it in, but when you fold this down, you shouldn't see it anymore. And you fold this tab down. Give it the slightest tug ever, make sure it's in there. Okay. Lift this black tab up. All right, I believe I am done now. Just going to close this up now by pushing it down. I should probably test it before sealing everything back up. Do the middle ground option and just not put the screws in just yet. All set and done.